He's getting older.
Hit the follow button.
But not wiser.
Everybody has affinity for cock.
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show, episode number 36. I'm your host, Lefty. Glad to be with you here today, Monday, the 16th of June in the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014. Hope to put on a good show for you today. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Hope you even have a better week moving forward. We got the Steam Summer Sale coming up. A lot of stuff going to be bought and played and downloaded and installed. It's going to be amazing. Thank you all for listening, watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube, youtube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody that's been finding the show there. Helping the channel grows, helps the show grow. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show with your friends, family, and coworkers, and thank you to everybody for continuing to do that. And it's easier now that the Lefty Show is on iTunes. That's right, baby. We've got an RSS feed, and we're on the iTunes store. Search The Lefty Show on the iTunes store. Subscribe there. Be sure to download all the podcasts and leave a rating if you'd be so kind. It does help the show grow that way. And if you don't have iTunes, you can just go to leftyshow.podbean.com and subscribe manually to the RSS feed there, so you can bring the Lefty Show to Android. I'm an Android user myself, but as far as I know, there's not a lot of podcasting aggregate stuff on the level of iTunes in the Android store, or the Google Play store. I don't think Google Play has a separate thing for podcasts. You got to get a podcast app, whereas in iTunes, it's slightly different setup. It's a lot easier. Not as cumbersome, but I love Android. I know some of you do, so just go to leftyshow.podbean.com and go ahead and subscribe to the RSS feed there. Thank you to everybody that's been donating to the show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you go if you want to donate, help out the cause. All donations graciously and greatly appreciated and accepted. So go to I'mRaising.com/643 Productions, or there's a link in the description of the YouTube video of this show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions, and stay up to date on all the Lefty Show news, everything that's top of mind. If you want to see me troll some idiot Europeans about soccer versus football, go to twitter.com/Lefty643 or just at Lefty643. That was so much fun. Over the weekend. The World Cup is going on, and being an American, I know the sport is soccer, and I'm going to call it soccer, and it's just not a big deal to me. It's like people saying soda or pop. When somebody says pop, I say soda, or I'm more used to the colloquialism soda. But when somebody says pop, or shit, even Pepsi or Coke, I know what they mean. They want a syrupy, carbonated beverage. That's what they mean. I know exactly what they mean when they say pop, even though I don't use pop. And, try this. Go to a restaurant and say, I want a pop. And they'll immediately they won't say, huh? What? They'll say, oh, do you want a Pepsi? We have Coke products. We have this. They know immediately what you're talking about when you say pop or soda or fizzy drinks, apparently, is something a lot of people say. But there's many different ways to describe a carbonated syrupy beverage, sugary syrupy beverage. And even soft drinks. We know what those are. Why they're called soft drinks, I don't know. But there's specific Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, whatever. But when I go to a restaurant, or when somebody says, hey, can you hand me a pop? I know what they mean. I use a different word to describe it. And perhaps somebody in history used a different word to describe, or many more people in history used a different word to describe a soft drink, a carbonated, syrupy, sugary beverage. But we all know what they mean. And it's just funny to illustrate. And I don't know if these people are even smart enough to get it. I don't know if the people that get all upset about me using soccer on Twitter to describe the World Cup, because I was talking about just the sheer amount of flopping and theatrics that go on was astounding to me. I was watching France versus Honduras. Now, apparently, Honduras is known for that, but I saw a few of the Frenchies flopping around on the field like so many fish out of water too. So it's not like, oh, it's just the evil Hondurans. No. The Froggies were out there, trying to ham it up to get some calls thrown their way. And I, coming from the NBA where flopping is a big deal, and it's just, what the fuck? You see somebody flop, and it's Anderson Varejao was one of the biggest offenders. Mike Bibby, I know. Mike Bibby be flopping. I don't have that Randy Moeller soundbite here. But I've seen that in the NBA a lot, and it's just, I get the point. It's the same point in the NBA. The reason flopping exists in the NBA is the exact same reason why it's done in soccer. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's because the officiating, it's all an amorphous kind of, it's a very dynamic game, we'll say. It's not rigid like football or even baseball. And that's American football, you jackasses. Because I know, what football you mean? Kiss my ass. You know what football I'm talking about. You know exactly what football I'm talking about. Stop being disingenuous. It's the exact same reason. The reason is because it's a dynamic game, and the officiating of a dynamic game is very hard. So if you want a foul called in the NBA, when somebody charges you, you're just going to fall down and slide along the waxed floor, the hardwood floor. You're just going to boo. Even though, come on, what are you doing here? Anderson Varejao did that a lot. LeBron James, I think, it was an even more egregious, but that was the reason. The reason is you ham up your reaction to physical contact, because otherwise it's less likely that the officials will see the contact and perhaps call it. The same reason why when somebody's going up for a shot sometimes if you up fake, somebody gets the ball, they up fake, get the guy up in the air or even on roller skates, and then they step back or sidestep and jump, but if the defender is still coming down on them or hits them as they're going up, you'll see arms and legs akimbo start flailing to try to create the motion of a shot, to try to communicate to the referees, this was a shooting violation, not something done on the floor. I was in the act of shooting, send me to the foul line, not just reset the shot clock and give us the ball out of bounds. Send me to the free throw line to do my thing. It is the same reason in soccer, the same exact reason. However, it's not nearly, trust me, as somebody who has watched plenty of NBA games, it's not nearly that bad. It is not that bad at all. And I was remarking that on Twitter, and people just seized on it. And some of them, or many of them, many of the people that were upset were European. And now, look, I don't mean to be prejudicial, but it has been my experience that if I know nothing else about somebody and they're coming at me sideways and they're being a hard ass, they're just being a jackass. If you're just being a jackass on Twitter or on YouTube and I know nothing else about you, I am going to say there's a 60 to 70% likelihood, rather than 50-50, let's say it was a 50-50 shot normally of being an American or a European. I'm going to say you're European. 60 to 70% likelihood. If you're just being a jackass and I know nothing else about you, I'm betting you're European. And it has been that opinion, that hypothesis, however inductive in its reasoning, not deductive, has been reinforced over and over again, because I'm trying to make some point and I say soccer and everybody knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when I say soccer. We're not talking about the version of rugby that used a soccer ball hundreds of years ago. We're not doing that anymore. When I say soccer, you know what I'm talking about. And people were completely sidestepping the point I made to go on a diatribe about call it football, blah, 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 blah. And it was just, what the fuck? And the worst part is that I don't think that they were smart enough to get how absolutely silly it is to be that upset about somebody using soccer over football. It's really, really, really silly. Like, really silly. It's even more silly than the people that get upset when I say British Isles, as opposed to trying to navigate the Ireland, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, UK, Great Britain, London, England bullshit minefield. Instead of trying to navigate that minefield, I just say British Isles. It's a geographical landmass. That's what it's known as. And that includes, I know apparently the Irish, some brand of Irish is really, really, really not liking being lumped in with anything having to do with British, but you're part of the British Isles, the geographical landmass. And I say that's what it is, and people get upset at that. Like, oh, would you be upset if I said North America when talking about Americans? No, because I'm not a fucking crazy person. I'm not a lunatic. When you get upset about, oh, you said British Isles, but I'm from Ireland or the Republic of Ireland, I don't like that. We may be more. Praise be to Dale. They say it too. The Irish say praise be to Dale too. They love Dale Earnhardt over there. And I say, you're a fucking lunatic. What the fuck? How silly to be upset about this. Being upset about soccer over football, more silly than that. Stupider. You are that much of a jagbag piece of shit if you're like, oh, I don't like you soccer. All right, get the fuck out of here, Eurotrash. Bastards. It's a word, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a fucking word. No need to be all butthurt about my use of it. And by the way, fucking spell football right. Spell it right. With the U with the accent over it. It's not football. Football. That's ours. You've got football. Spell it fucking right. If you're going to be that butthurt, say football. Well, then you fucking spell it right. Oh, I see. There's going to be a whole lot of, oh, well, you know, but this, that, and the other thing. So that was an interesting. And what happened earlier in the weekend, speaking of portions of humanity that suck, I was I went to lunch with Katie, and we went to this Greek restaurant, first time we had ever been there, and it was your standard parking lot thing. If you'll excuse the keyboard there, I've got to put ads on a video that's about to go live because I actually won a dispute. Third-party copyright claim dispute. We'll get to that in a bit. Don't worry, I will talk about that. It was absolutely bullshit. My second one in as many days. So you go to this restaurant, and decent, nice Greek food. I like it a lot. And Katie drove, and that's important because when Katie parked, it was a normal park job, 90-degree parking lot, and there were spaces on either side. So I was in the passenger side getting out. So we go in to eat. Again, good food, good gyros, and I got some nice. I got a pulled lamb sandwich, and it was fucking delicious. So we get out, we pay for the meal, and we leave. And as we leave, I notice, I've got a thing with being car sick when I'm not driving. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's acute motion sickness, but if I'm not driving, odds are I'm going to be not feeling too well. I don't know why, but it's really, really weird. When I'm driving, I'm fine. I can be stop and go, on it, not on it, whatever. No big deal. My inner ear is really fucked up. So Katie said, why don't you drive? All right. So she hands me her keys. We go, and I didn't even pay attention because now I'm on the driver's side. And I didn't notice that a car had parked on the passenger side in the space on the space next to her car on the passenger side. Katie said, "Uh-oh." And I'm like, "What?" And she said, "Oh, nothing." And so I tried to get into the car. I'm too tall for Katie's car. It's like I put the seat all the way back, and I still have to do that move. You know that move where you don't want to move somebody's seat when you're getting into a car, so you have to kind of turn your legs. You have to turn your hips to flatten out the bend in your knee so that you can get your knees under the steering wheel. I had to do that move, and still it wasn't working. I said, you drive. So she said that okay. And I walk around the back of her car to go to the passenger door, and I realize I'm not going to be able to get. She said, "You want me to back out?" And I said, "Why would you want me to back? Why do I need you to back out?" She said, "Well, look, what had happened? Why she said, uh-oh, when I was getting in, was there somebody had parked next to her, really, really, really close. Let me give you an idea of how close this asshole parked to Katie's car. Their left front tire, half of it was in our space. Half of the left front tire, again, this is America, so left drive car. Half of the left front tire was in our space, not on the line. Not half in their space, half on the line. Half of the tire was in our space. And they were angled a little bit, so the rear left tire, the left rear tire, was all on the line. It wasn't in our space, it was just on the line. And it was to the point where it was about 2 door widths was the space between this asshole's car and the car I was trying to get into. Now, when I say door widths, you might think door lengths. No. I'm talking go out to a car right now, open it, and look at the depth of that door. Look at it. 2 of those. That was the space in between. So when you open the door, you would only have 1 door width of space to get out. So this person, my point, the reason I make that point is this person, there was no way this person did not know that they parked like a fucking asshole when they were getting out of their car. Because sometimes you do this. Sometimes you park like an asshole, but you're in the butthole of the parking lot where nobody's around. And so you can park like an asshole. And you're in another space, but you look around and there's 50 other spaces. And you say, fuck it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not rush hour. There's 50. I'm going to be out of here in an hour. No way these 50 spaces are going to be used up such that my asshole parking job comes into play with somebody else trying to find a spot. So you're like, I don't really need to redo it. I got to get in and got to get out. So you don't realize that you would be an asshole to somebody else trying to park. But this person, because there was, they could be fucking Slenderman. They could be Slender Man trying to get out of this car. And they would still have to do the, like you're trying to paste, like you're trying to just slither out of your car when you've only got a little bit of room to get out. And so you just got to do that slithering move where you put instead of swinging both feet out, you put the one leg out and then you just kind of slowly slither out and you use your hands to lift yourself. And it's like you're a fucking cat burglar. This person had to do that. Even if they were extremely petite and extremely thin, there was absolutely no way they got out of their car normally with how this fucking thing was parked. And I looked at it, and I stood and I looked, and this all went through my mind like that, just like that. And I stood and I looked, and I talk a lot about how shitty parts of humanity. Well, this is bullet point number 3,782 in why humanity fucking sucks. Why our society fucking blows. We're all fucking asshole jagbags. Because wouldn't any person part of any kind of decent society, every person, when they park next to somebody else and they had to do that slither move, would realize, oh shit, I should give this one another go. I should probably try again. I got to do this move to get in and out of my car. It's a pain in the ass. And this other person, my door is touching their door, and that's already a problem because, look, I know some people are from the age of, oh my God, no accountability, no respect for anything. It's like a man law or just a person law that you don't touch somebody else's car door with your door. Even if you so gingerly place it on that other person's car door, you don't touch that other person's fucking car. You don't sit, and You don't put your fingers on the car. You don't put your hands on the car. You don't lean on the car. You don't sit on the bumper or sit on the trunk or anything like that. You don't fucking do that to somebody else's car, especially if you don't know them. And when you have to go through all that to get out of your car, don't you look at it and go, oh, fuck, I'll just redo it. I should redo it. No, this fucking asshole parked, did the slithery cat burglar thing, the little jig and jive to get out of the car, and looked at it and said, all right, I'm going to go eat my Greek food. I hope those person got some bad expired euros and spent the rest of the day on the fucking toilet. Not salmonella, not like you got to suck ice chips for 3 days. Just the, you get home and you feel like you got to take a shit, and then you feel like your intestines are just coming out of you, like they're just piling out of you. And you think, oh, mother of God, what's wrong with me? And for the next 48 hours, you have a fart embargo. You put yourself on a fart embargo because you can't trust anything that's coming out of your ass for the next 48 hours. You're fine. You don't got a fever. You're not puking, but just your body is not happy with what's been going on. Just that. That's it. Not sickness, not death, not anything, but just a little some kind of punishment. Because it's really indicative of, you get out and you have to do this move to get out of your fucking car, and you look at it and go, yeah, seems good. All right, let's go inside. Let's go eat. Oppa! That's good. All right, oppa! Let's go fucking eat. You redo that. You do that again. Yes, it's a pain in the ass a bit for you. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. You got to redo your park job, especially if you're a dude driving. You got your woman in the passenger seat, and you got to redo the parking job. You got to go, oh, I got to redo this one. You didn't get it on the first try, and it's kind of emasculating, but you fucking do it. Because, well, there's a fucking car door with a singular that you have to play with to get out of your car, and similarly somebody else has that amount of room to get in and out of your car because half of your fucking tire is in the other spot. You redo it. But oh, no, fuck it. Let's go eat. It's the it's the same thing, people that don't want to walk from a parking spot. Have you ever heard? It's happened to everybody, and if it hasn't happened, trust me, drive around for a bit, go to places, try to park in parking lots. You'll see this plenty, where you are forced to wait because some jackass wants to park right up front. There's 45 spaces down the line, 67, maybe even 100 feet further down the row, plenty wide fucking open spots down the row. But this jagoff has to wait and hold up traffic so that he can get the spot and hope that the other guy backs out. Or even if you see reverse lights, I'll give you a pass. If you see reverse lights, I'll give you a pass because that's just also common courtesy to let somebody get the fuck out of there. You see reverse lights, okay. But I've seen it where people stop when they see somebody walking to their car from the establishment, and they creep. They creep and follow them along. Like, where are they going? Is it this one? Is it the next car? Oh, I bet you it's that Hyundai. I bet you it's that Hyundai. Oh, shit, no. Is it the Corolla? Oh, yeah, it's the Toyota Corolla. Oh, yes. And they stop. Hold up traffic, everybody behind, because they've got to get this spot right up front. Never mind the fact that they could go down 100 feet, park like a jackass, not have to worry about clipping somebody else's bumper or doing anything like that. They'd probably be closer to the exit of the parking lot, but we got to walk 100 feet? Oh, man, fuck that. I take pride in parking in the... I will actively... Like, I won't... If there's a single spot and I'm like, I don't know. If it's even a question whether I could make it, I'll go to the back of the fucking parking lot and I'll just park and walk because fuck it. But in our society, we're such lazy bastards. No wonder obesity is such a problem in our society. We stop and hold up traffic so that we can get a parking spot closest to the fucking door of the grocery store. Just hold up traffic. Fuck you. This is my spot now. We park in the fucking fire lane. People actually stop and put on their hazards like that's fooling fucking anybody. Like, they might as well pour just here, do me a favor. If you're one of these assholes or you know somebody that is, here's what you do. You tell this person, all right, always carry a bottle of water with you. And when you're going to do that, at least put on a little bit of theater when you try to park in the fire lane and put on your hazards like, oh, something's wrong. We know you're just running into the store to get condoms or something. We know that. You got some hot bitch in the back seat. You got a hooker and you forgot rubbers and you got to go get, but you don't want to park and walk like, all right, I got to take the hooker with me to the grocery store. You just got to run in and get out. So you park in the fire lane, put on your hazards, and people think, oh, man, maybe he's having car trouble. No, you're fucking not. We all know you're fucking not. It's bullshit. But at least engage in a little bit of theatrics. Help me suspend my disbelief so I'm not as pissed off at your entitlement. Like, I know this says fire lane, but I really need these condoms, so I'm just going to park here and fucking go. And make everybody else fucking go swerve around me because the fire lane also doubles as the through traffic lane. But fucking pieces of shit. Here's what you do. You take a water bottle, and whenever you're doing this, you pop the hood on your car, open it up, and pour the water bottle on your hot engine block. That's it. That's all you do. It creates a billow of steam, and you go, and then you walk in and get your fucking groceries and walk back out, and it's fine. If people did that, I would be totally fine with it. Engage a little bit in your entitlement. Don't just be a fucking entitled douchebag and park in front of the fucking grocery store in the fire lane and have everybody else deal with it. No, put on a little bit of a show so that everybody goes, oh, well, you know, he might actually have car trouble. Okay. Then you've got free reign to do whatever you want. You could fucking do your month's shopping in there. But we hold up traffic, and it's acceptable in society. You park like an asshole next to somebody. You know you're having a problem. You know you park like an asshole because of how hard it had to be for you to get out of your car. And instead of thinking, you know what, maybe I should redo that one. Maybe I should, scratch that. We'll try it again. Part 2, parking not like a jackass part 2. You think, let's go eat. Fuck this person. Fuck this person. And if they're still here when I get back, fuck me harder because I still got to do that thing to get back in the car. We hold up traffic waiting for parking spots at the front of the row. Why not just go fucking park in the back and walk? You could probably use it. Well, I'm old. Good. Fucking need exercise too. Just because you're old doesn't mean you don't get to exercise. Or don't need exercise. Then we park in fire lanes, put on hazards, and nobody bats an eye. Shame these people. Shame these fucking people. Lay on your horn. Roll down your window. Yell obscenities at them. It's time we as a society start shaming the people that do bad things. These aren't the Nazis. We shouldn't start killing them. But there should be shame. In a world where we cannot exact accountability on everybody, shame is a stand-in for accountability. So when you see a jackass holding up traffic, lay on your horse and could fucking walk, you fat piece of shit. You and your 8 kids with all the rat tails and you're fucking living on the public dole with food stamps. You're driving an Escalade. Fuck it, go park in the back and walk. Could fucking use it. No more disability for you. Shame the people that are parking that are sitting in the fire lane. Well, I'm just waiting for my wife. Go fucking park, you jackass. Tell your fat bitch wife she can walk out to the car. Shame these people. We need to take, at least, if people aren't going to be personally accountable for what they do, if they're not going to be personally accountable for their actions, we need to instill accountability in them, and that comes in the form of publicly shaming them. I have but one voice. I have but this middling podcast and my middling YouTube channel. You, however, you are the voice of the people. You can go out and you can spread this message to other people, to everybody you know, to your friends and families. And you can be the voice that says we need to start shaming these jackass parking job assholes. We need to it'll start with the parking lots. It'll start with parking lots, and then we'll move on to other areas in which our society we've relinquished accountability for anything. Maybe even the TSA, maybe even we'll get to a point where a TSA agent will say, no, I am not going to feel up this child's genitals. I'm not going to fucking do that because it's fucking wrong. I'm not going to say, well, I'm just following guidelines and I need the $15 an hour. No, fuck that and fuck you. So at some point, you need to say no. And I saw this on Reddit. Vern Troyer posted a picture. He posted a picture of a female TSA agent looking up his ass. I think she actually just asked him to stand up on his, he's got like a little cart thingy that he sits on. He's like the midget's midget. It's real, like Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones fame. Star of The Station Agent, know that because of Entourage. Peter Dinklage is also a dwarf or a midget. I don't know what they like to be called. I'm going to stick with midget. And it's the same thing with Wee Man. And they just look like little people. They got kind of bowed legs, and but they just look like, you know, Control Shift, and you just downsized a person. They scale down well. But Vern Troyer is like a midget version of a midget. And it's, you know, I love the Austin Powers movies, but I never realized that he was on the smaller side, even for midgets. So I don't know if he's got a cart that he drives around in. And I think the TSA agent was asking him to lift up so that she could look at the seat and try to feel if there's anything there. But it was clear, Vern fucking Troyer, you know it's Mini-Me. Do you live in America? You're above 20 years old? You're older than 20? You know that's fucking Mini-Me. You know it is. And you're asking Mini-Me, and you're lifting his seat up and feeling his ass or whatever you're trying to do and feel up and search his little cart thing. Does the man not have enough trouble? Dude, come on. The guy's got enough trouble getting around and trying to function like a normal human in society. And you've got to say, well, we got to feel that cart. Sir, excuse me, the reason you're on this cart is because you can't walk around, right? Right. Can you stand up so that I can fucking search this? What the fuck? But there was an undercurrent on Reddit of people trying to shame this woman. Like, what the fuck is he? What the fuck is this person doing? And then it was a larger conversation about what are TSA agents doing? Why do these people get a pass? And there was a reply, an apologist reply that was, we should shame the government, we should shame the system and ourselves, not the frontline grunts that are doing the job, blah blah blah. They're just following guidelines. And I said, you know. That didn't work when the stakes were as high as I got a bullet in my brain if I said no to this. Summary execution. We as a society said, no, that's not okay. That is not a defense for genocide. That's not a defense. It's not a defense to commit atrocities, saying I faced summary execution if I did not follow this order. And this order was to commit an atrocity. I do not dispute that. However, the penalty for disobedience was a bullet to the brain. We said no. No. You can't do that's not a defense. Now I know somebody's saying, well, they're obligated to obey lawful orders. Exactly. Who the fuck gets to say what's lawful? Nuremberg was a fucking farce. It was awful. We said, well, you should obey lawful orders, yes, but not lawful orders. Well, what the fuck? If you kill deserters and some commander says, go kill these civilians, and you say, no, I'm going to desert you so that I don't, this is an unlawful order, the commander's not going to say, oh, well, I agree with you. That is an unlawful order. Good job, Private Johnson. Good job. Way to stand up to me. This isn't a fucking romantic comedy, a teen rom-com where it's like, oh, you finally stood up to me. That was the test. Thank you for questioning authority. You passed this class. Congratulations. This is the fucking real world. This commander, there's an evil person says, kill these motherfucking civilians. And the private says, no, I don't want to do that. The commander isn't going to say, oh, well, okay. You got me. Oh, shucks. Oh, dang it, Johnson, you and your, take your logic and go to bed. No. He's going to say, oh, okay, bang. Fuck you. Refusal to follow an order, a direct order. We don't, it only becomes unlawful when the winners of the war put you on trial after they kick your ass and after they kill a bunch of your friends. Then they put you on trial and say, you shouldn't have done that. Well, I've faced execution if I didn't. No, that's not a defense because you're supposed to obey lawful orders and find a way to disobey unlawful ones. Well, what the fucking fuck? And spare me that this guy found a way to do it once. Come on. Come on. Don't you think there were plenty of Nazis who said no? You don't hear much from them. Why? Because they're fucking dead. That's why. Anyway, And I said, I hashed this out in a comment on Reddit. I said, okay, so we didn't accept that from the Nazis. So if we didn't accept, if the consequence was summary execution and we still said no, following orders is not a defense, why do we accept following orders from people that are regularly personally violating human beings? Feeling up the genitals of children, feeling up old persons, having old women take off their diapers and lift their saggy breasts, and not to mention anything, not to mention the fact that they are state actors regularly violating constitutional rights without a warrant. Let's stick to the emotional stuff. Never mind the legal crap, because I know, legal, moral, blah, 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 blah. Let's shame these people. Why do we accept, I was following orders? Well, what's your consequence for disobedience? Well, I get fired. Oh, well, we can't let the guy making $15 an hour get fired, can we? Oh, my goodness gracious. That's following orders. That's the system's problem. We need to continue to let him feel up children and old people and violate our constitutional rights on the daily for $15 an hour. We need to, because he's just following orders. And I say, no, I am unforgiving in that regard. Shame these people. Shame them. I'm not advocating killing them yet. I'm not saying that. Shame them. Say, you fucking piece of shit. I will buy a plane ticket just to go on and I'm not opting into the shortwave radio, the very fucking dangerous radiation in those scanners things. It's like getting CT scans. I've had plenty of CT scans. I'm good. I don't want any more. I don't want that kind of radiation. I think it's short. I want to say it's a certain form of radiation that they use to penetrate the clothes, but then bounce off of the harder surfaces of your flesh to reveal anything that you may have hidden. You know, they don't actually penetrate or go through you off a reflecting screen. I believe they just they show. It just reflect off your flesh. And that's dangerous radiation. The shit that goes through you is less dangerous because it goes through you. The shit that's designed to bounce off you, I believe, is more dangerous. Could be wrong on that. Regardless, I don't want that. And I want to get in the fucking pat down and say, you motherfucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be free of unreasonable search and seizure and shall not issue without warrant, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. Shame these people because they could say no. And the alternative would be flipping burgers for about the same amount of money. Or greeting at Walmart for about the same amount of money. Or now going to Starbucks and apparently getting college. Go be a barista. What's harder, being a TSA agent, or being a barista at the fucking Coffee Bean? Go do that, and apparently now Starbucks will pay your college tuition. Fucking A right. Do it. There you go. That is a perfect path for, you work a shitty job, but there's a path to better yourself. Is the TSA paying for you to go to college? I'm not sure. Maybe there is a program, but I don't believe there is. No, but these people could say no. They know they could say no. Just like that jackass knew they could have redid their parking job because they realized how fucked up it was when they got out. All these TSA agents have a high school education in America or the equivalency. That means they studied the Constitution a little bit. That means at least they read the Bill of Rights. At some point in their lives, they read the Bill of Rights, and they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They should know, maybe they don't have the mental horsepower to swallow such a complex thought. They should know that it's fucking wrong, but they do it anyway, and they don't say no. They could say no, but they don't say no. It's time to shame them. Just like the guy could say no to shopping, to parking in the fire lane of the grocery store. He could say no to that and say, well, I'm not going to be a lazy fucking prick, and I'm going to go park and walk. But he doesn't. He says no to that notion. That person should be shamed. And when we take back the parking lot, infuse some accountability in these parking lot jagbags, maybe we can move on to shaming TSA agents at some point. Shaming them. You are acting for the federal government, and you're violating my civil rights regularly. On top of the whole feeling up grannies. And making Vern Troyer fucking mini-me. You know it's mini-me. My God, you're a tripod. You know that's him. But you know you're supposed to be, you know that's wrong. And you could say no, but you don't. And you could very easily say no, because unlike the Nazis, you don't get a bullet to the brain. You just get to go home and watch The Price is Right. Find another shitty job. Yeah, it's shitty, and I'm sorry about that. But when it comes to regularly violating civil rights and the precedents that sets, now somebody's going to say, well, so you're comparing the Holocaust to TSA pat-downs? No, I'm fucking not. No, I'm not. I am drawing parallels between the defense of my actions are excusable because I was following orders. We did not accept that when the stakes were as high as execution. When the result of disobedience was execution, we still said no. In this sense, the result of disobedience is perhaps you get fired. Maybe you get fired. And let's say you do. Is getting fired more or less pleasant than summary execution? We should not accept it, and we should shame these people. This is not comparing pat downs to the fucking serial extinction, the attempted extermination of an entire race of people and some other people who are deemed unworthy or just unseemly. This is not don't even try to pettifog. Don't even try to straw man your way into that. No. We're talking about the defense of I was just following orders. And if it was bullshit when the stakes were summary execution, it's supreme bullshit when the stakes are I got to find a new job. Shame these people. So let's start with shaming the parking lot assholes, and then we'll get to shaming the TSA. Because they should be shamed. Because and you know, gassing Jews is a big deal. Really bad. Committing genocide. Yeah. Bad. Regularly violating, habitually, chronically violating the rights of individual citizens set forth in the founding document of the United States Constitution. So regularly violating those rights as a government actor isn't, you know, it's not a walk in the park. You're not, you know, you're not just making cakes for kids. It's a pretty big deal to do that to people. It's a pretty big deal to violate somebody in that legal context, but also in the personal level. On the personal human to human thing, that's some bad shit. Is it gassing Jews? No. It ain't good. Not at all. And I vote we should similarly not accept, well, I was just following orders. Shame them. Why not have both? Shame them and also shame the system. Shame ourselves, too, for accepting it. Shame everybody. Everybody should be accountable. We all created this, but we all includes the TSA agent. We all created this thing that results in the pat-downs at the airport. We all had a hand in creating it. Yes. We are all accountable. Yes. All includes that fucking guy in the blue shirt. That nearly illiterate bitch who's feeling up children's genitals without a warrant or probable cause. They have a part in it too, and it's time they feel some shame. Some objective shame. Some in-your-face shame. Not just look in the mirror, what have I done shame. This is, I'm looking at you, and I've got the look in my eyes, and I just think so little of you because you are clearly such a gigantic piece of shit. Shame. That shame. That's the shame I want for the TSA. Give it to the parking lot guys, too. Fuck it. Fuck them. I was just waiting for my wife. Go fuck yourself. You're there for more than 30 seconds? You're parked. Is that good? 30 seconds? Fine, we'll give you a minute. If you're stationary there for more than a minute, because I had to take my grandpa to the store a few times. And I tried to do the, I would walk around the store with him, and then when he wanted to leave, I would say, okay, well, I'm going to go get the car, and I'll swing it around for you. And it was about, 30, 45 seconds. All right. You get a minute. That's all you get. Anything else, you're parked there, and you're going to get shamed. And I encourage you all to do the same thing and pass on the message. All right, so let's talk a little bit about YouTube, because early on in the show, I remarked about how a third-party Content ID match via YouTube's Content ID system was removed. My second of the weekend. I uploaded this thing yesterday, and it was immediately flagged even before it was published, so don't allow anybody to take credit like, oh, I'm copyright claiming Lefty shit. No, you're not. It was a content ID sweep from matched content from something called Collective One. Now, here's the deal. Here's what happens. For those of you that don't know, YouTube has this gigantic library of supposedly copyrighted content owned by many different facets of the entertainment industry. So a bunch of music, a bunch of video movie, video game stuff. There's a lot of trailers and stuff that could get you in trouble, or they have it, movies, TV shows, all this stuff. And it's all digitized, and YouTube has an algorithm that scrubs through video files uploaded to YouTube looking for a match. And if there is a match, it automatically flags it. And you can have, if you are a copyright holder, you can have a certain number of things done. You can immediately have this stuff taken down. You can have it not available in certain countries. You can allow it to stay up, but take off ads on it. Or you could allow it to stay up, keep ads, or put ads on it, but just have that ad revenue like turned towards you. Just have it shifted to you instead of this person that uploaded it. So there's a bunch of different things that you can have done. And when it was late last year, a big deal for video games, because there was a whole slew of things added. Content ID was unleashed on video game channels, and a lot of publishers and developers just indiscriminately added their entire video games to YouTube's Content ID system. And it just took people's shit down. Never mind the fact that they're part of multi-channel networks that specifically license with publishers and developers for these things. As part of a multi-channel network, I have a license to do I have proper license to do this stuff. I do. But that didn't matter to YouTube. So what happened here, again, Collective One was the people that the YouTube algorithm got me. It got me twice on 2 speedrunners videos. And I say it a lot, and you know, YouTube relies heavily on algorithms, heavily on automation. Content ID is a big one, and it works. It's one of those things. It's like Newtonian. It's a perfect analogy. YouTube's reliance on algorithms and automation is just like our reliance on Newtonian mechanics to describe our world. Newtonian mechanics describes pretty much everything you, me, anybody else are likely to actually see and do on Earth. Pretty much. I mean, if you're a nanotechnology guy, maybe not. If you're working in a lab like that, probably not. But just driving down the street, driving your car, going to the store, going to school, doing everyday things that you do, that everybody does, Newtonian mechanics describes it 99.99999%. When you get into the really small or the really large, if you're Neil deGrasse Tyson studying black holes and event horizons and all this stuff, Newtonian mechanics ceases to aptly describe or correctly describe everything that we observe. So what the fuck? Newtonian mechanics doesn't work. When you start talking about significant percentages of the speed of light, Newtonian mechanics doesn't hold. We need general relativity or special relativity. And similarly, when you get down to the really, 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 really small, when you get down to the atomic level, when you get down to the proton, neutron, electron, quark level, gluons, talking about when talking about bosons, Newtonian mechanics does not apply. You need a new set of rules to describe the really, really small. But Newtonian mechanics, you know, those are marginal things. Newtonian mechanics works pretty well for most things that we as humans observe. And similarly, Google's automation works pretty well for most things done on YouTube. Uploading porn is really easy. That's a no. Uploading a copyrighted song, if you're not Eminem and you upload an Eminem song, easy. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, done. However, there's a bunch of marginal cases. Video games is one of them. Now, my case was really peculiar, because that's close enough. Because my content was not flagged. It was not matched by the supposed copyright holder was not the people, or were not the people behind speedrunners. They were both speedrunners video. It wasn't them. It wasn't them saying, you know, you're breaking Street Date. I'm not breaking Street Date. It's available on Steam. You don't have the proper license to upload and monetize this content. I do, as a part of being a multi-channel network. And it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't it wasn't because of music. It wasn't anything like that. In fact, the people, here's how I know. The speedrunners people, the guys behind the speedrunners game, actually watched and retweeted a portion of my video with Kyle and Chiz, in which something really cool happened. And they found it in a video of mine, which means they watched the video and tweeted it out. And I retweeted them, I believe it was last week sometime. So they're watching, they're aware that I upload and monetize their stuff, and they're totally cool with it. The developer, publisher, blah. Who supposedly claimed the video, who supposedly my content matched this third party, was another YouTube network, The Collective. Collective_1 is the moniker that I believe the YouTube network The Collective goes by when they put things into the YouTube Content ID system. So here's what happened. Here's how bullshit YouTube's reliance on automation and algorithms gets, is because somebody else, as under the Collective network, uploaded a speedrunners gameplay monetized. The Collective added that video, which I'm guessing, if you want to get specific about it, it contained a menu, because both of my third-party Content ID claims were exactly when the menu screen was shown for an extended period of time in the video. And that happened in the Collective guys video. It must have. And they added that to their Content ID system. And YouTube just said, okay, it's yours. The video, as it appears on YouTube, the image of these speedrunners, never mind the Collective, you don't own speedrunners, you are not the people that develop speedrunners, never mind that, because you say so, you now, at least on YouTube, own the speedrunners main menu, and anybody else uploading videos that contain that image we are going to assume are violating your copyright, and in my case, they didn't monetize the video. So I challenged both of them and won both of them. Now I've got, I believe, one more speedrunners video in the can ready to go, and I'll bet you that'll get flagged as it's uploaded too. Because that's how bullshit it is that YouTube or Google they are so against hiring people, hiring humans with human eyes and human reasoning capacity, because it costs more money, it's inefficient, etc. This gets to the core of why I don't like strict adherence to efficiency, okay? Some people may skew that. It's not that I'm against efficiency. It's not that I'm against technology. It's that when you get to a point where you are fucking with people's livelihoods and you're allowing an algorithm to do that indiscriminately, and you refuse to hire humans with human reasoning to alleviate that problem, and you call these people, quote, partners, and you contract with them and make money with them, that's fucking bullshit. When efficiency wins out over the human experience, that's bullshit, and that's wrong. And that's what I'm against. I'm not against technology. I'm not against new technology. I'm not against cool stuff. But when the human experience is significantly impacted negatively by one's adherence or one's drive to be efficient and to automate instead of having inefficient humans do inefficient work, that's when I have a problem. That's when I have a bone to pick with you. So I've got a bone to pick with YouTube, because now it's come home to roost. It was easy to sit back and say, oh, well, poor Gold Glove. Got a tweet from him. Thanks, Gold Glove. I don't know if somebody tweeted him the show and he just watched the relevant part, but thank you, Gold Glove. Glad you enjoyed at least that show. It's easy for me to be like, oh, shit, man, that really sucks for Gold Glove, because it's easy for me to be sympathetic because I don't have to deal with it. Or maybe, is it empathetic? I always get them confused. Empathy, I believe, is when you have experienced the thing that somebody is going through. Sympathy is just you can put yourself in their shoes. Not that you've necessarily gone through that. So I believe empathy is more you've experienced it, they've experienced it, and you share that. Sympathy is more of I haven't experienced it, but I understand that it's a shitty situation. So it's easy for me to sympathize with Gold Glove when it's happening to him and not me. But when it happens to me, it's just, what the fuck? And it happened twice. The first time it got removed, and then I uploaded again, and YouTube again, just, oh, yep, here you go. This is the collective's content. And I had to say, no, it's not. Now, the turnaround time was a little bit more than 24 hours. Call it 36 hours turnaround time on the on the dispute. And I had scheduled them to upload, so it was easier for me to just delay the publishing and hope that the dispute was settled before the video was scheduled to go public. But if I'm a guy that all I do is straight to public uploads, that would fuck me. That would well and truly fuck me. And Google, YouTube, it's just automation. That's just what we're going to do. And we are going to subtract from the human experience because our immense bottom line, huge bottom line, is more important than not fucking around with the people that we, in part, make lots of money from. And so I've got, again, Speedrunners number 11. It's the finale of the second tournament. Chiz and I and Kyle have done, and I guarantee you when I upload it, it's going to be flagged as being part of the collective's content. Now, the question is this the collective's fault? Well, the automation isn't the collective's fault. The fact that I don't have somebody to talk to, and there is nobody to talk to say, look, when I upload Speedrunners, it's not the collective stuff. YouTube's content is going to say, or YouTube's content ID system is going to say it is, but you know, and you've talked to me, and we can come to an understanding, and you'll know, oh, no. I can override the system. I can override the automation because I know what's really going on. Because I don't have that person, I can get fucked with. And so that isn't the collective's fault. But they choose to add that. They've chosen to put that in to their content ID library. And they know they don't own Speedrunners. They know that, but they do it anyway. So that, is kind of fucked up on their part. Will they remove it? I don't know. I tweeted them a couple times, no response. So probably not. But, I want to know who the guy was who said, yes, I'm going to add this Speedrunners, this video, audio-visual content, which I clearly do not own, which my parent company clearly does not own, but I'm going to add it to our content ID library regardless because, fuck it, we're a YouTube network. We'll just fuck with people if they want to, if we want to. So, but anyway, we won, or I won, and the Speedrunners number 10 is scheduled to go live at 7 p.m. tonight on the 16th of June in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014. Speaking of, got a lot of stuff coming up for PKA plays. Really excited about it. I'm going to try to introduce Kyle and perhaps bring Chiz into the fold of Daisy. I think they would get a kick out of it. Eyeing up some Gary's Mod stuff. We're going to wait for the Steam Summer Sale, which I mentioned at the top of the show, in order to... Kyle needs Counter-Strike Source and I believe maybe one other game in order to have all the mods, all the textures for all the mods in Gary's Mods. So we're gonna wait for that to come up, and then we'll get him those games at a hopefully a good discount, and plenty of Gary's Mod stuff. I think we had a lot of fun playing it. A lot of people seem to enjoy it, and we certainly had a lot of fun playing it. And a bunch of other games coming up. There's actually a thread on the PKA subreddit. If you're interested in PKA plays, head on over there, reddit.com/r/PKA, and there is a suggestion thread. If you've got a 4-player co-op game that you know of that you really want us to play and think we would have a good time playing, go ahead there and do that. So Steam Summer Sale, I believe, is this week. I'm really excited for it. All right, let's do some news, even though it's really late in the show. Do a little news before we head on out of here. Just a few news stories. President Obama signed an order banning federal workplace discrimination against gays. The city of Miami becomes the second city to sue a major bank claiming mortgage discrimination and predatory lending. Spider-Man's got a boner, ladies and gentlemen, and a city in South Korea is pretty pissed off that Spider-Man is sporting a huge. Really just rock hard cock in hanging off a building. So we'll talk a lot about that and as we wrap up the show, and it is the news with Lefty. Let's get into it. All right, so this story from Al Jazeera America. Al Jazeera or America.aljazeera.com. Obama to sign order banning federal workplace discrimination against gays. President Barack Obama plans to sign an executive order banning federal contractors from discriminating against employees on the basis of their sexual orientation, a White House official said Monday. I thought we already had this. Have we not? I'm not angry yet. It's just this seems really redundant. I thought workplace discrimination on the basis of race, gender, and sexual orientation, I thought this was a thing already. I thought we've had this for a while. The idea of an executive order explicitly banning federal contractors from doing that. They're American companies, aren't they? They're bound by civil rights laws, etc. What have we not done this? I mean, here's my question, because as our society gets more and more liberal, and it's getting more and more liberal, it is, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just is. That's what the center has shifted to the left. The whole spectrum has moved and has been moving and will continue to move. Progressive, everybody's progressive in some way, and as a result of that, the entire political spectrum will shift consistently to the left. The left will get more and more progressive. The conservative side will be relatively to the left, regressive, but still relative to what was the conservative side 50 years ago, immensely progressive. And my thought on this is that if we're going to need an executive order, if we're going to need a new law or a new constitutional amendment, every time a progressive element feels oppressed, we're going to bog ourselves down with a lot of bullshit. We need something, and I thought the 14th Amendment was that. We need something that we can point to that just says this applies to everything. We don't need, the next thing that's going to be up is gender identity. The next thing that's going to be up is transgender. As sexual reassignment surgery becomes cheaper and cheaper, easier and easier, refined and more refined, more people are going to do it because they have gender identity issues. They identify with a different gender, and which is fine, whatever. I guess I don't know what that really means. I can't empathize nor sympathize because I don't fucking understand it. But I know it's around. I know it's a thing. And those people are now going to be, on some level, they're going to be discriminated against by relatively regressive people in the workforce. That's just going to happen. It'll be bad and it will be wrong, just as wrong as it was when people, owners of businesses that operate in the public space, discriminated against a guy because he was black. It will be just as wrong now discriminating against a guy that had gender reassignment surgery because of his gender identity issues. It will be just as wrong morally and legally as it was when it was simply a white guy saying, I don't like blacks and I don't want to hire them. It'll be just as wrong. But it would seem to me that if we need to have press conferences, if we need to have special legislation every single time there is a new special interest group that is being oppressed, we're not going to cover important things. President Obama has spent, I don't know how long, but the problem of federal workplace discrimination against gays could just as easily be fixed by saying adhere to the 14th Amendment or fuck off. Duh. That's discrimination. It doesn't matter, whatever. That's clearly discrimination. Time was wasted. I don't know how much, I don't know how valuable, but the fact remains time was wasted with the President of the United States drafting and signing this order. Time was wasted thinking about this when it's such a clear issue. It's no discussion, no debate. It's a common sense issue. Why do we need an executive order saying you can't do this? Huh? Why do we? My point, and my larger point is this: we've gotten to a point in society when we legislate the shit out of ourselves. Everything needs a special law. Everything needs to be so incredibly precise, and we need a special one for homosexuals. Now we're going to need a special one for gender reassignment. Now we're going to need one for transsexuals, and on and on and on. We're going to need special legislation for every special interest group. Every issue needs special, dynamic, tailored legislation, and it's just a gigantic circle jerk that wastes everybody's time when we could be focusing on much bigger issues. Which is not to say that discrimination in the federal workplace against homosexuals is not an issue. It is, but that's already wrong. And it's one, morally wrong, and two, we've already made it illegal. This is an illegal thing. You don't need an executive order or extra special legislation to make it extra specially wrong. This is one of the reasons why I hate crime, or, well, ironically enough, I dislike hate crime law. What the fuck? It's already illegal to kill somebody. Why do we need to make it extra wrong to kill somebody because it was one race? Even if the one guy who murdered the other guy was saying, I'm killing you because of your race, he already murdered him. That's already illegal. We don't need special legislation. We don't need special laws to make things extra specially illegal. Discriminating in the workplace is already illegal. Why does President Obama, why would any president, any legislature waste more time saying, oh, no, well, we know it's wrong and we know it's illegal, but we're going to make it extra special illegal. We are going to codify. The codification of special interest groups is going to be a huge, it is now and will continue to be a huge issue for America. We don't need and similarly, we don't need special legislation governing the internet. That's common sense. They're common carriers. That's what it is. It's a telecommunication service. End of story. We don't need anything convened. We don't need special legislation to deal with the new internet. No, we've been dealing with telecommunications networks for decades, and we've been regulating them for the betterment of the people for decades. We don't need to reinvent the wheel just because it's the internet. Workplace discrimination has been illegal for a while. We don't need special legislation that applies narrowly to homosexuals. Not everybody is entitled to express codification of their special interest. Yeah, okay, you're a transgender guy or girl or whatever you are, and you're being discriminated against. Well, that's wrong and illegal. Yeah, but I want special legislation that makes it really illegal to do it against me specifically. No, we've got that. We've got that on lockdown. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We don't need it. It's illegal. We don't need to bog down in cumbersome legislative or cumbersome laws. We don't need to bog down the legislature. We don't need to bog down society with all these special interest laws. We have laws already to govern all of this shit, or most of it. Use those. You don't need your own law. Megan's Law. It's illegal to fucking abduct kids. We don't need any extra special bullshit. We know it's illegal. Get to investigating the crime. Megan does not deserve her own fucking law. Stop it. Stop letting special interests legislate the shit out of America. We have laws. We don't need multipliers placed on top of what already is legal and illegal. We don't need it. It's just enough. You're catering and pandering to the special interests is going to prevent us from real issues. For instance, why the fuck has not one Wall Street banker gone to fucking prison? Why not fucking one? Not one goddamn. How many millions of people's lives were fucking ruined in part because of these jerk-off criminals on Wall Street? How many? But no, President Obama, wasting fucking time, is already illegal to discriminate in the workplace. Now homosexuals need a special codification by way of executive fucking order. And now one JP Morgan Wall Street criminal fucking cocksucker has gone to prison. That's what that'll do. That's what that will do, and that's what's done. It's great they get the photo up, the guy holding up the executive order, his speech. Yeah, like cock. Good for you, bro. Glad. Hope you really like cock. Everybody has affinity for cock. Everybody's got one. Let's focus on some real fucking issues. Workplace discrimination is already illegal. Let's work on, I don't know, putting people that ruined the economy in fucking prison, not your special interest. Not everybody is entitled to laws. Not everybody is entitled to special, codified, special interest. It's just not the case. All right, let's wrap it up with a funny story. This is a Spider-Man statue. This is from comicsalliance.com. Spider-Man statue removed from South Korean playground because it has a gigantic boner. That's right. Spider-Man, this Spider-Man statue in a South Korean playground has a gigantic boner. And I just want to read this because the first paragraph is it's pretty funny. After erecting a statue of Spider-Man in South Korean shopping center, artist Yoon-suk Yoo met stiff resistance from the people who run it. It seems they took a long, hard look at the spectacular piece after suspicions were aroused about its suitability. The statue has now been yanked off, despite being impressively hung on that wall for almost a year. You may feel he got the shaft, but one hopes he understands the thrust of the mall's decision. It's mainly because the statue has a gigantic tumescent penis, and people were starting to get weirded out. Here's the thing. And if you see pictures of it, I'll try to throw a link in the description on the YouTube thing to this story. Starting to get weirded out. It's been up there for a year, however long that actually is, right? We'll call it 8 months. Don't you on the first day when you see Spider-Man sporting a gigantic hard-on, don't you think, all right, that's pretty fucking weird. That's a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't get why seeing a gigantic boner on Spidey, a tumescent cock on a Marvel superhero, why that's a progressive thing in your mind. Why it's like, oh, I'm okay with it. I was okay with it a month and a half ago. But after seeing that gigantic hard-on for the last month, I'm pretty pissed off about it. So Spider-Man, the Spider-Man statue has been removed. And, it's if that's what Spidey's packing, good. Mary Jane must be loving it. If that's with, I don't know how elastic Spidey's suit is. So, but I'm guessing there's a little bit of suppression going on. If that's what shows through the Spidey suit, fucking Mary Jane's on cloud nine. Spidey's driving it home to Mary J. in more ways than one. Because dude's got at least this statue, pretty gigantic penis. Like a raging hard-on. Spidey could do porn. Rule 34, there is Spider-Man porn on the internet. But this Spidey could definitely do porn. All right, let's bring it home. Woo, another great Lefty show. Thank you all for joining. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you all had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube. Helping the channel grow helps the show grow. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show with your friends, family, and co-workers. Helping the show in a grassroots kind of way. It's much easier now. The Lefty Show we're mobile, baby. We got an RSS feed. Head on over to leftyshow.podbean.com. That's leftyshow.podbean.com. Manually subscribe to the RSS feed if you're on Android, or if you're on an iTunes device, go to the iTunes store and search The Lefty Show. Subscribe, download, and rate all the podcasts if you will. Greatly help out the show. Take The Lefty Show wherever you go. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye. Hello there.